Yeah, yeah.
I reckon like having the recording, that'll allow you to like watch it later and stop it and then do little bits and pieces.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, what I've done is I've logged in to Weebly.com. So if you just like when you get on, just type in Weebly.com. Have you created an account yet?
No, if you got to, yeah.
Yeah, so you just need to create an account. Once you've got your account, you'll come in and it'll look like this. The only difference would be that I've got a heap of websites that I've created here, so you wouldn't have any. So you just sort of need to go to add site. So all Weebly is, it's just like a tool to create a web page. So you can use other tools, like there's other ones around, but Weebly I reckon is probably the easiest one. So then once you've created a new website, you can choose all these different themes, and you can change the theme later on. Like it's sort of just how you want it to look. I usually go for, there's this one in business, which is this one here, the Muse Tech.
You go for business?
Oh yeah, I went into business, and then, but like I said, you can choose whatever you like. I like this one. I don't know why. Like it just seems to work well for how I want to present my web pages. Like I've used all different ones, but this is just the one that I'm using at the moment. And yeah, like I said, you can change it later on, so it's not a big deal if you pick something and you decide you don't like it. So then that'll just give you like, so now we've just got a blank canvas. That's our website. What you need to do is you need to create a name for it, or a domain for it. So what that will mean is like whatever your, whatever you want your URL to be, that like when people type in to get to your website, what do you want them to type in? So like for surf lifesaving, you might have what lifesaving, Ocean Grove. So you might have OGSLSC.weebly.com. That's available. Like, so you can see that little green tick there. It means it's available. If you choose something like Sonia, it's already taken. So you can see, like, if you wanted to have it as sonia.weebly.com, which would be a bit narcissistic, but if you wanted that, you couldn't have it. You might be able to have Sonia Kinsey though. So like when you type it in, it'll just say there that it's available. And then once you've found something you like OGSLSC, then you can just like click on continue, and that'll kind of save that as your web domain. If you wanted to, like I don't know why you would want to, but you can actually pay and not have the .weebly.com. But for me, I'm pretty happy having the .weebly.com and not paying for it. And so once you've done that, just click continue, and then you've got your blank canvas here. So it's got these pages up the top by default. So home, services, about, and contact. Pretty much the only ones I keep out of that are home and contact. And then I just create other pages for everything else that I want. So up in this top corner, it says my site. You can like edit that. So you could have, I usually call it like GHS something, GHS Maths 9 or whatever. For your lifesaving club, you could have OGSLSC, or yeah, like I said, I just usually do like GHS Maths 9 or whatever. And then what you do, like you can then create or delete the pages that you don't want and create some pages that you do want. So the pages are just these tabs up the top. So if I click on pages now, you'll see it's got home, services, about, and that contact. So if I click on services, I don't want that page anymore. So just I click on that and I go down the bottom and I just delete it. Or you can rename it if you want. You can change some different things here. I never really mess around with those things. You can delete it like just by clicking that. That'll delete that page. The other thing you can do, and what I'll do in a sec is I'll go back to it, that fitness Weebly or that fitness website that I created, just to show you a couple of things. But what you can do is you can hide it. So like if you wanted, let's say this page was week 5, for example, and you didn't want to have it visible just yet, you could just create it and then just hide it. So it's just like the kids or whoever accesses your website can't see that page yet. And then like down the track, if it gets to week 5, you just go, oh yeah, cool, I'll just untick that, and then it's visible again. So you see up the top here, it's got home, week 5 and contact. If I hide it, week 5 disappears. But you can still create it and do whatever, edit it, do whatever you want. I'm just gonna delete it though. I just like to delete all the shit pages that I don't want. And then if you click on the plus button, then you can create pages that you do want. So I just always use the standard page. You can use all these different ones. I don't know. I just reckon keep it simple. Go for standard page, and then you can call it. So for example, we'll call it week 1. You could call it, call it whatever you want. Click done. And now what you can do is like, see how I've got week 1 is my last page rather than, I sort of like to have my contact page as the last page. So you can just click on that and drag it up.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
So you can reorder them that way. You can also have, I'm just going to create a new page. I'm going to call it, let's say I've got one for Sonia. Just click done for that. And I'm going to create one called Jason.
Yep.
So what you can do with those little pages that I've created now is I can turn them into sub pages. So see how I'm like dragging that box around. When I want to drag it below week 1, and I'm just going to drag it slightly to the right, and then see how it's like indented from the rest of the pages now. That means it's like a sub page of week 1, and I'll show you what that means in a sec. So I'm going to drag Jason up under Sonia and do the same thing. Just drag it slightly to the right, and it creates it like a sub page like that. And then you can see up the top here, when I hover over week 1, there's Sonia and there's Jason. So what you could do for your Surf Lifesaving Club, if you wanted to have stuff for different groups or for even for individuals, you can have it like that, so that when they come along, they go, okay, week 1, there's my name, and then you could have like a training program there.
Yeah,
or
sure.
we could have
paddlers, board paddlers, or whatever.
Yeah. So for our fitness website that we maybe want to do for all of PE for like while the kids are away, if we wanted to, we could have week 1 and we could have 7, 8, 9, and then you might have your peak performance with some different stuff. Or we could create it year 7, year 8, year 9, year 10 if we wanted them to do different things for each week. So that's kind of handy how you can have those little sub pages. Just makes, I guess it can make this navigation up the top a little bit easier. Rather than having 20 tabs, you can like sort of just have those sub tabs, which just make it a bit easier to navigate. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to delete this because actually before I delete it, I'll show you how to do a couple of things, then I'll go and show you one that we've already created. So you've got this heading here. And where are we? We're in the Sonia week. I might just go to the home page. And so then what you can do is you just kind of drag and drop things in. So what we could do is we could make this into a picture. So like at the moment, it's just a blank bit of black screen. So what I can do is I can edit that background and I can turn it into a picture.
How did you get that box up?
I'll show you again. So I'll just click out of there. So if I click on this space here, I just click on it and then it comes up with this edit background and replace header layout. I want to edit the background. So then you can see there I can change the color. If you just wanted it to be like a blank color, you could do that. But I'm just going to, if I just click on where it says color, and now I get my full range of options that I could have, and I just want to have an image. So at the moment, it comes up with this dog by default. So what I usually do is I just go to Google and I go home fitness, for example, which is what I was doing to create our fitness page. And whoops, I didn't mean to click on that. Go back. And then you just go to images. And then you go, okay, oh, cool. That's a pretty cool image. And then I right click on that image and I save the image. Not the link, save the image. And I'm going to call it, I'm just going to chuck it on my desktop so I know where to find it. and I'm going to call it yoga pose. Save it. And now I can go back to my Weebly page and I can replace that image with, you've got all these kind of default ones that you might like to use. There's some pretty cool ones in there that work pretty well. Or you can just upload your own, which is what we will do. So then I just go to my desktop where I saved it. I've got yoga pose, enter, and then that appears there. You can sort of move it around. I don't know why. It must be a low res picture. But you can move it around. And then once you're happy with it, you just click save.
Yep.
And then that's now your background for your header. So then what we can do, so at the moment we're on pages. But when you want to do stuff, you go to build. And then you've got all these different things that you can build your web page with. Probably the things that you're going to use most are the title and text. And then you've got images. You can have a gallery, slideshow. But I'll just show you like a few of them, because I probably only use title, text, image. I'll use buttons a little bit. And then if you scroll further down, you've got options to drag in like YouTube clips and files. So if you just wanted to have like a Word doc that you wanted the kids to download, you can just drag files over as well. So I'm just going to get out of this page and I'm going to show you one that we've created before, just to give you an idea of what it looks like, and then I can show you how to edit it. So this is that home fitness page that I sent to you the other day. So once I've got my website, I just click edit, and that will bring me into this page. And then, so you can see there, this is what I just renamed that for, like I showed you before. This is just a heading or a title. So you can drag a title in if you want to do something like that. And then you can see I've got week 1, 2, 3, and then I've got that contact page. So from my home page, which is this one, if I scroll down, you can see I've got this is called add title. So what I did to create that, I just grab title and I drag it to wherever I want it to go. So see that blue line that's moving around as I'm dragging it around? Can you see that blue line?
Yeah.
That shows me where that element, where that's going to end up. So I can have that above home fitness, or I can have it so I can move it again.
Yeah, okay.
Or I can have it below home fitness and it'll move it. Oh, it didn't work. Drag it under. It's not wanting to. Drag it under there. See, so then you can see the titles there. Or there's other things you can do, like you can drag it so that it's right next to something else. So if I drag it over to the side of the screen, can you see how that blue line is on the right-hand side? It's a bit hard to see. It's only small, but can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I drag it over there and I see that little blue line and that's where I want to put it, I just let go of the mouse. And then you can have, you can see there it's side by side. You might want it to be a bit closer to the other one. So see where this line is in the middle here. I can click on that and I can drag it so it's over there, or I can drag it so it's all the way over there. So you can kind of position stuff wherever you want it to be. And then, so what I've done after that, after I did that title, I just dragged a text box and I dropped it in there. And then that created this text box here, which I can then just type into. So once you've dragged the text box in, you just type and it's just like typing into a Word doc or whatever. So now we'll go into week 1. I'll show you how I've created that because it's got a few different elements in it. So it'll be good to have a look at. So again, I just saved the Google image, dropped it in there. And then this little element here is just a text box, which I dropped in there. To separate bits of text, you can put in this thing called a divider. So all this stuff is pretty easy to find. It might look a little bit confusing just because you're not used to it. But as opposed to a Word doc where you've got buttons all over the place, everything over here is like they're big boxes. You don't need to know any secrets to get into them. You just kind of scroll down. Okay, what would I like to put in there? I put a divider in just to get that that grey line. And if you put anything in that you don't want anymore, you just click on the little X there, and that'll delete that element. Pretty straightforward. Now what I've done here is I've put in a heading, and then I've dropped the text box. Has entered the way. How many devices are you working on, Kinzo?
I'm gonna open on the computer, so it's a bit bigger.
Okay, cool.
There we go.
Just turn your phone off now, because otherwise it'll do that echoing thing.
Yeah, I will. Right, laughing.
You good?
Yeah, this is better.
Cool. So then you can see, like, I've got this heading here, which is just, like I said, it's just this title. I dragged that over to there. I typed in it. And then I've got this text box here, which I typed into. And then what I wanted to do is I wanted to have this image next to the text. So I might just show you. I'll show you an example. I'll do another one. So I want something in above there. So I'm just going to drag a title into there, and I'm just going to call it demo. And then I'm going to drag a text box underneath it. Now, once you're in your text box, you kind of got like all these like normal kind of word functions. So you can have like bold, italic, underline. You can change the size. You can change the color. You can, yeah, all this sort of different like normal word stuff. Now, one thing that you might like to use there is having like bullet points or dot points. So if I click on that, that'll give me those, and I just say, do this exercise, and then my next dot point might be blah, blah, blah. So on and so forth. So you can do it like that, or you can just type it like any ordinary text, like you would in a Word doc or whatever. And then what I wanted to do, and what I did, is then I wanted a picture to be next to the text. So I want a picture to be like over here on this side. Now, when you do this stuff on Word, it just never positions itself properly. Like, I find it really annoying. It's really easy on here because you just drag the image, and like I was showing you before, I want to put it next to this text box. So what I need to do is I need to drag it over here, and can you see that blue line on the right hand side of the screen? That's showing me that it's next to the text box. So if I let go there, then I've got that image that's right next to the text like that. Again, if I wanted to, I could drag it so that it's closer, or I can drag it so the image is smaller and the text is bigger. You kind of have that, I guess, that freedom to kind of put it wherever you want. So I'm just going to leave it there. And then again, like if I wanted an image, I just always just go Google, and I'll just go demo image. Let's just see what sort of pictures we get with this. All right, so this one looks pretty cool. I want that. I'm going to right click, save image as. And again, I've chosen it to be on my desktop just so it's easy to find. Demo image, save, go back to my Weebly page, and then I can upload an image, upload it from here, demo, and then I should see my demo image in there. So again, if I decide, hey, actually that's not where I want it, I want to drag it over a bit. Hang on, I'll scroll down a bit, scroll up a bit. So if I want to change where it is, why isn't it letting me do that? Let's click out there. Okay, and then I can move that over if I want to, so the image is bigger, or move it back and have the image a bit smaller. Now, the other cool thing I reckon you can do, like if you've got a few images that you want to use, so let's say, for example, I'm just going to delete that for now, that image box. And let's say I want that image as well, like that's a similar image, and that helps me to explain what I'm trying to show students or whoever you're trying to pitch the website at. So I'm going to call this demo 1, just so it's got a different file name to the last one. And then what I like to use is this slideshow function. So if I drag that over to the side there and put it next to my text box, then I can, a few different types of slideshow. I usually use just this simple one. And then again, you can just upload images. So I'm going to upload demo. And then I want to upload, then I want to upload demo 1. And any other images you can drag in as many as you like in there. And then if I click on add photos, whoops, sorry, my bad. I don't want that. I want save. So then you can see, can you see there how that image is now rotating through? So it'll like just, it'll rotate through by itself, or you can, like when you're actually looking at the website, you can sort of scroll between the images as well. So it's kind of cool. Like if you've got a few different images that you want to use to show something, that's a pretty easy way to do it. So like rather than having 10 photos all lined up next to it, you can just sort of have it play through in that slideshow, which is pretty, I reckon that's pretty handy. Now also down here, you can see like I've got the title, I've got my text box, I've got my image next to it. I also wanted to put in a YouTube clip so that students can see, and I'll just open up like the web page, what it looks like. What did I call it? I forget now. Home fitness, I think. GHS home fitness.weebly.com. Yeah, there we go. So this is what the website looks at the moment if like someone visits it using this URL.
Yeah.
So if I go to week 1, so this is like what you saw before when we're in the edit mode. And then having this YouTube clip here, and this is one of the things I like about using a website, is that you can then embed the YouTube clip into your web page. So like you don't actually have to leave this page to watch the video. So if students were trying to work out, okay, well, what's stock wrestling? Here's a photo of it. Here's a YouTube clip that I can watch. I don't have to go out into YouTube to watch it. It's all just there in the same page. And then you go, and then, you know, you can scroll down. You've got another YouTube clip here. They can play that all within the same, like that same platform. So they don't have to click out and go to something else and then come back and then navigate to somewhere else and then come back. It's all just sort of embedded in there. Does that make sense what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I've just got to piece it all together in different spots. Yeah. So the page can be as long as you like. Like, so just say you've got week 1 there. Can that go down as much as you want to put on?
Yeah. So you just keep dragging elements in.
Yeah.
And you just, it just keeps kind of working its way down. So I'll show you just quickly how to drop in a YouTube clip. So if you scroll down in those functions, grab a YouTube button, and then see, like I can have it next to it. I could have it in the middle of the images and the text box, but I want it to be underneath the text. So I'm just going to drag it in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't work. I'll try again. Still not working. Don't know why that's not working, but once you drag it in, it should look like this. So I've dropped that in, and then what you do is then you go over to YouTube and you just find
what
the video that you want. So I'll just type in demo, see what sort of images we get. All right, some good American gun videos. So let's say I wanted that one. So I'll just click on that and then copy the URL.
Yeah.
So just Control C. And then I go back to the Weebly page, and up in this top box here, I can just click, paste, and then click out. And then you can see that video is there. So then if I was to publish it, students went onto it, went to the GHS fitness. Students went onto it. If I published it, they would then see, week 1. They would then see that video, the new one, they would see that there. I don't really want to put that new one in. So I'll just delete that in a sec. But yeah, that's how you add that in. I guess the other thing that might be like helpful for you is to create a contact page. So like this contact page was already there when I created the website, like just the blank website. And it seems to be glitching on me a bit. Let me just flick around a bit. Maybe my internet's sketchy. Yeah. So it seemed to just glitch out on me. I'll log back in. I was having a bit of trouble with my internet this morning. So let's just go back into that page.
Everyone would be on it probably at the same time.
Oh, yeah. I had to like, you know how with your Wi-Fi at home, you usually have two different ones? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, your own phone and the landline one.
No, like, so when you have a modem or your wireless router, it'll send out two signals. One's stronger and one's weaker. One travels further. Anyway, I had to change over from one to the other. It was, anyway, a bit weird. I don't know why I did that. So if I click over to the contact page, because this is just what I wanted to show you, I've already put in a contact page for you, because I thought for our home fitness page, you being the PE guru, everyone would want to contact you. So the way that you do that...
The PE guru is actually liking not doing too much at the minute, so she might go into retirement.
Who's that? You?
The PE guru,
Yeah. So the way that you do that is you just, like, one of these options is called a contact form. You drag that in. So on this page, we could have multiple contacts. So for our Year 9 maths, I've put in a contact for each of the Year 9 teachers. So I'm just going to drag that over to the side because that's where I want it. I want to, like, ours to be side by side. And then I can just edit this and I can say, oh no, hang on, sorry. I don't want that. I want this. I'm going to call this Mr. Jason Doffe. I don't know how to spell my own name. And then if I click in form options, by default, because this is my Weebly account, it defaults to this email address, but I can change that. So like, for example, for you, I changed it. I just went in and I typed in sonia.kinsey@education, blah, 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 blah. And then that will then make it so that contact form, when someone goes in to contact someone, it'll then forward that email to your email address.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a handy thing to have in there, even though like kids can find you on Compass and email you that way. I find, like, with my Year 12s, most of them, because we've got a Weebly page for methods, most of them will contact me through there, and it just comes through to my email account rather than having to go back into Compass to do that. Now, the other really important thing that you need to do, so see how I've made some changes now. So like, let's say I want to save those changes. I need to make so Weebly will save the changes for you. So you don't need to save it as such. But if you want people to see what you've done, so like I've made a few changes, so I want people to see the new version, I click publish. So if you're making changes and you're like, you know, I don't want those changes to go live on the web just yet, don't click publish. It'll still save it. So when you go back into Weebly later on, everything you've done will still be there. But when you want people to see it, you need to click on that publish button. And when you do that, cool. When you do that, it just saves it with that URL that you wanted to use before. Don't worry about this stuff. This is just like an ad so that you buy, you want to buy your web domain or whatever. Don't worry about that bit. And then if you want to see how your web page looks, you can just click on that link there. And then you'll be able to see, okay, this is what I made before. I'll go to week 1. This is where I made the changes. Cool. See, I've got all that demo stuff in there now. Got my slideshow that'll just scroll through, or I can pause it and control it myself. I've got my images, I've got my videos in there. Yeah, so that's kind of how you build it and how you share it. The other thing you might like to do is you might like to share it with people. So like, for example, this home fitness Weebly page that I've created, I want you to be able to edit it as well. So once you've got a Weebly page, I can then go into settings, and over here you can see editors. And at the moment, I'm the only editor. So I'm the only person that can make changes. Now, if I want to add someone, I just click add editor there. And then I can invite you with your, whichever email address you have as your Weebly login, I would just share that with you. So if you were going to do it with your education address, I would just go Sonia.Kinsey.
Well, I've started using that education address because we're supposed to, aren't we? Or
yeah.
Not?
Yeah. Your Edgemail one, like your Kinsey.Sonia.whatever at Edgemail still works, but may as well use the new one because at some stage those Edgemail ones will be deleted, I assume. So yeah, I've just typed in all of that, and I'll just include a message. Now you can edit our Weebly page. And then you can have like different settings. I think these two are only for the pro version. So that's like if you pay for Weebly, so you don't want that. Admin, so that means you can do everything I can do by if I save that. So I'll save that now. And then that should send you an invitation. And then you can, once you've created your account, you can go in and edit that Weebly page. So that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions or anything that I kind of haven't gone over, or is there something?
Probably when I start. So I'll just start a blank one. I've got to do one for the high performance, and I've got to do one for Life Saving Victoria, or something for Life Saving Victoria.
Yeah.
So I'll start and then play around
cool.
a bit.
Yeah.
It's
And
like anything.
Yeah, and like I was saying, this is the advantage of having a session like this that I can record, as opposed to if I showed you all this in person, like in a PD, there's a heap of stuff, and you go, oh, cool, I know I can do this, this, and this, and then you go, oh, I don't remember how to do it. Whereas this is, you can watch a video and you can go, oh, rewind, play again, fast forward. Yeah. Is there anything specifically that you wanted to do that you're not sure how to do?
No, the ability to drop the YouTube clips in is good because I'll just pick up little vids that kids have sent me. So we've got this grant for Life Saving Victoria to promote development during the time we're off, and they're saying 6 months. So I've got to try and write these program. Yeah, they're saying September.
Yeah. And then so like if you were getting them to do exercises or whatever, like fitness training stuff, that might be like, say for example, if you were getting them to lift weights and you want to make sure that they're doing something in a specific way, like making sure their technique is right. You could like take photos of yourself in different stages of that particular exercise and then do that as a slideshow so that, when they go to it, they see like, okay, this is step 1, step 2, step 3. Or you can find stuff on YouTube that already exists to show them how to do like a deadlift or whatever it is that you wanted them to do. And that I really like having that, as opposed to like if I just had this as a file that you then put on Compass, you're sort of limited in terms of like, you can have, if you wanted, you can have a link to YouTube, and then they're in the document, they click on that, and then it takes them over here, and then they've got to go back to the document to see the next step. Whereas like with this, you can have, you've got like your description of the activity, and then you can have your images or have your YouTube clip playing, and they can, this is the edit page, and they can watch that while they're reading the instructions, which I think is really cool. Like, so it's not just one or the other. You can use both, or you can use photos and video and description, like text.
So then you just copy the Weebly, your Weebly link then to your Compass.
Yeah. So if I just go to the home page, click on that, Control C, and then I'll just go to our Compass page and I'll show you how it works.
Just copy it into your attachments down the bottom.
Well, you can do it as a newsfeed item, or you can just do it in your resources.
Yeah.
So kids are probably pretty used to having it in their resources. So if I click on, I've just picked a random class, add content, you can add it as a link. So you just go class web page, Control V to paste it in, save, and then it just, if they go into the resources, they can just see that as an item there, which will then take them out to this page.
Now, do they need the internet to open that all up?
Yeah, well, they'll need the internet to get to Compass, and then they need the internet to get, so they can't really, without the internet, makes remote learning pretty difficult, because the only other way to share stuff would be via the post. Like if you can't get on the net at all, because then you can't get emails, you can't use Compass, you can't use.
But they can get onto this on their phone stuff too, which is So
I'll just show you. You can see my screen, can't you?
Yeah.
Well, I'll just show you what it looks like on the phone. So it still works. So I'm on that same page that you can see on the screen. I've got the little 3 things up the top there, little 3 lines. That's the menu. And then so you can go to week 1. And then you can see exactly what we see on the web page, on the desktop version, but it just kind of puts stuff underneath instead of next to it. So it just kind of automatically customizes itself for a mobile device. And if you're making your web page and you want to see what that looks like, if you go to your edit page, and up the top here, it's called the device switcher. So if you go to the mobile version, you'll see what it looks like on a mobile device. So you can see, cool, that works. That's exactly how I want it to look. You can edit it in this view as well. So if you think, oh shit, I actually want the video to be before the picture, or the picture to be before the. Actually, no, you can't edit it in this. Sorry, I lied. You can't edit it in this mode. You can just check it out and see what it looks like.
Yeah,
that's pretty handy as well. That's one of the things I like about using a web page, especially building a web page using Weebly. It just automatically customizes to a mobile device. So it's not just like your web page, that's really small and you're trying to click on things. It actually makes sense on that.
So your success rate so far now with kids actually looking at it?
So I guess the classes that I've used it for, Year 12 methods, kids use it quite a bit because we've got a heap of resources on there. I've got YouTube videos that I've made. So they probably go to it fairly regularly, and they'll use it way more now that we're off. With my Year 8 Digitech class, we use it that's like my unit outline, as well as all of the things that the kids need to do. So I'll just kind of show you real quickly what that looks like. So the kids use this in class. They can use it at home as well if they want, but we use it in class every day. So they can go to one of the tasks that we do is we make some Google Docs. So they go here, and then they can create a Google account, and then they can see what they need to do for each task. And then I've made videos for each of the tasks that they need to do. So my kids in Digitech use that every single lesson. And it also allows me to I can put videos in there that I want to show to the class. When we're doing drone stuff, there's some different drone videos that I like to show the kids, so they can get a bit of I guess a bit of a grounding as to why we might be doing something. So these are all of YouTube clips that I want to play in class. So it's like as I said, it's kind of like my term planner or year planner or whatever. I don't know, like we've made like a year 9 one, that we've made sort of to start off next term. I don't know like how many kids are going to access it. But yeah, it's pretty easy to access. So hopefully it works pretty well. But yeah, like I said, the ones that I've been using, like, yeah, that because I sort of refer to it all the time, the kids use it pretty frequently.
Yeah, good.
And it's easy to get to, you know, like for example, GHS methods is what, like, I call my methods one. So as long as you've got like a nice easy URL, or you share the link somewhere like on Compass, it's pretty easy for them to access it.
Yeah, if they want to. Yeah, I just had a look. There was some work due last Friday for for one class. I think probably 4 kids out of the 22 have loaded it up. I'm just interested.
I had a pretty similar upload rate for my Year 12 VCAL, but I suspect that as we because you know the last week of term was a bit sketchy.
Yeah, that's right.
It was sort of like, you know, holidays started early. I suspect that once we start next term, if we're working remotely, I reckon like kids will start to kind of fall in line, especially, you know, if we start sending a few emails home and stuff. I think
we'll be learning remotely. There's no way we could go back to classes, I wouldn't think.
I wouldn't have thought so. No.
Staff have got a really good argument to stay home.
Yeah. I can't imagine that we're going back for at least a few weeks, but I suspect maybe a month or 2.
Yeah, well, the bird that gave us that runs the needles from last week, she reckons no way next term should anyone be going back. Yeah.
So I suspect that as we are working remotely for longer, you know, if it was a week or 2, you might not get many kids. They're just going to go, we'll just wait till we get back. But I think if we're off for 2 months or something, you know, I think the parents will start expecting a bit more. And if we start emailing home when kids haven't uploaded stuff, I think we'll have a bit more success.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I want to sort of get this sorted, because I've probably got school plus a couple of other things I've got to do something with. So anyway.
Yeah, and like what you can do as well, like, so I've put, you know, what, like for this fitness page, for example, because that's the one that we've sort of been talking about a little bit. I can put the link to this web page on my class Compass page in the resources. And then you might even have, like, let's say at the bottom of week 1, you could even then have a link back to Compass. So like, we're on week 1, at the bottom here, you might say, I'll put a bit of text and I'll say, take some photos of you completing the activity, and then upload to Compass.
Yeah.
And then you could have like a link back to Compass. So then like they get to that stage. And then the thing I like to use for links in Weebly is, and I'm glad that we sort of stumbled upon this because I use it a fair bit, this button. So I'm just going to drag and drop a button underneath it. And then I can go to the Compass homepage. And I can copy that, Control C. And then I go to my Weebly page and there's the button there. So if I click on that button, I can then add in a link. I want a website URL, Control V to paste the link in, and then I'm going to call that now upload to Compass. Okay, and then you'll see, no upload to Compass. That's probably exactly what I don't want. So now upload to Compass, so that you can see like the kids kind of scroll through, they do their work, do the activities, they get to the bottom. All right, take some photos now, and now I've got to upload to Compass. So then if I was to publish that, when they go to the home fitness page, if I just refresh that page now, go to week 1, scroll down, then you can see, okay, now take some photos, then upload to Compass. If they then click on that button, that'll take them back to Compass. And then from there, they can upload the video. So you can kind of have a link in Compass to get there, and then a link on your Weebly page to get back to upload. So it sort of just makes it a little bit easier for the kids to navigate that way if you've got buttons, as opposed to now typing this into URL or whatever. Does that make sense?
Yep, good. Yeah, I can just copy and paste into that link. Yeah, that's good. I'll just have to start one and just
definitely. Yeah, you just need to play around.
And you're gonna send me the link to the video.
Yeah. So I just need to upload it to YouTube first, then I'll send you the link.
Sure.
And then, yeah, obviously, like if you have specific, because like I reckon once you start to build it a little bit, you kind of go, okay, well, actually, I really want to do this, and this in this order. And just let me know, and then we can do another Zoom sesh or.
Sure. Now with that Google Doc.
Yep.
You know how like I've got the kids' names across the top, and because I've got quite a few kids' names, you can't see what's on the left-hand side as far as exercises.
Okay, hang on. I'll just end this video and then stop. Stop recording.